Hey, what's going on, everyone? So, I'm working on the 10th generation Celica GTS, and what I've noticed is that it just rained a while back, like maybe 2 days ago, and I had a puddle of water there. So I was researching, and I wondered why the interior just had that musky smell, like a mildew smell, and that's where it's coming from. Good thing that the seats were off so I can see where it was coming from. And I was researching on the internet, the forums, and apparently there's an issue. And see if you can take a look at that. Let me see if I got something else. Okay, let me point it out to you. See this right here? That little line? Well, it tends to separate. So this is the piece of sheet metal from the roof that overlaps the side right here of the sheet metal. And it tends to leak. Now, I don't see anything out of the ordinary. However, somewhere in the back area, they say that this tends to leak right there. And to me, it still looks pretty good. But I did find something that caught my eye. I'll do my best to see if the camera can focus on it. But there we go. So, you see the gap right there? It's not like perfectly sealed. It's like a little crack, if you will. Well, apparently it seems like that's where the problem's at right there. So I'm gonna seal it up and let it cure. And then I'll do a water test by putting a water hose over the top and just let it sit there, just running down the roof, especially this area, the ceiling area. And we'll see if that took care of the problem. Okay. What I used is a denatured alcohol. And this works really good when you're cleaning the metal surfaces. So that's what I did there. I did my best. I brushed it off first with a light bristle or plastic bristle type of toothbrush, if you will. And I just cleaned it all up because it was really dirty. And then I vacuumed it. Then after that, I cleaned it up with the denatured alcohol. Want to make sure that the surface is clean so that the sealant can adhere properly. All right, so let's see how this works. Okay, so the sealant that I'm using is a Loctite PL Max Premium, and it's a silver color or grayish color, and I like it because it matches really well with the paint of the vehicle. So now, what I did, I put a light coat, and I'll get back to that dab right there. And if you can see, I sealed it up. So when I did, then I ran it through with my fingers and smoothed it out. And again, there's another dab right there that I put there purposely for a reason, and I'll get back to you on that. Make sure I went down on the bottom to the side, and then to that area where we were talking about, or when we saw the crack. So that should seal it pretty good. Some good stuff here. Okay, so this is weatherproof, and it's used a lot in construction for metal, sheet metal, roofing, things of that nature. So exterior, and also can be done interior, but this stuff really works. I used to use this a lot when we used to repair roof metal trailers on top, like the 18-wheelers. So when we do roof repairs, this is the sealant that we used, and it lasts for many years. So it works really good. Okay, now the reason why I put a dab there and also in the front area, I need that so it can hold the mold that the trim mold. So that's what I'm doing. I also cleaned up the trim piece as well with the denatured alcohol. Okay. And I'm gonna install it. Wish I could show you, but I can't because I need my other hand. So nice. What I'm need to do now is remove this weather strip here. I didn't get a chance to do it on the other one. Now I have help. My wife's helping me out here. So what I'm using this little plastic little pry bar here, and this little piece right here. And what I'm doing this right here, inserting this little pry bar, but I'm putting this behind the pry bar so I don't want to damage my paint. And it's gonna help me open up and take out the weather strip, or the trim mold if you want to call that. See, now it's coming out. And you want to do it in the back area as well, because that's where the glue's at. So remember, I was telling you that there's a purpose why I put a dab extra of glue. It's to hold the mold piece, and it's in these two spots. So once I break it loose, it should come right out. There we go. And that's it. This also, you can bend it back to its shape. And you can see the channel here that we're gonna clean up. And after I vacuum it, I'm gonna use denatured alcohol, clean that up, and prepare the surface so I can apply the sealant again on this area right here. Okay. All right, so I've already installed the trim mold already, or the rubber trim if you want to call it that. I've already sealed it. Now, if you notice, I'm putting this blue tape, and I've noticed people in forums and stuff, I was just browsing around, saying that they had a hard time keeping the trim in place. And yes, it's a little challenging sometimes. So you gotta make sure you bend that trim mold just right, and it takes patience to make sure it stays in place and doesn't pop up. Now you can see right here, I'm pressing into it right now, and it does kind of come out a little bit. However, it's just a trim piece. Remember, the sealant is what's really going to seal everything together. But for this trim piece to look good and in place, it's a good idea to put some tape over it and let it hold it there. Let the trim mold adhere to the adhesive, or the sealant if you want to call it, and let it cure itself there, and it'll grab. It just takes time. Gotta leave it there for a while. I'm gonna at least do it, let it cure for at least 6 hours. And I don't know what the instructions are on that thing, but I'm just like to make sure it gets done properly. So basically, I'm just gonna do it tomorrow, take the tape off tomorrow. I live in Houston. It's really hot up here. It's in the summertime, so it ain't gonna take long to cure. Another thing that's really important, use the blue tape, 3M or Blue Hawk's fine, or there's a lime green tape, either 3M or whatever brand, but those two right there. Don't use regular masking tape. It will peel the paint off, or it can cause some problems with your clear coat, especially if it's an older vehicle. So that's really important right there. I highly recommend spend a little bit of extra money and get the good stuff. Another thing too, don't keep that tape on the paint for more than 3 days. Once it stays more than 3 days, then it starts getting really difficult to remove that tape. I'm not too sure why it does it, but it's something that I've noticed in my experience. Okay, well, hope this helped right here, guys. And I will do a water test tomorrow. Okay, so I removed the tape already, and you can see where the strip stayed in place. I'm not really satisfied with this piece right here, but I mean, maybe redo it again. It's still holding pretty good. However, the one on the passenger side looks pretty good. So it held down pretty good. So now I'm gonna do the water test. I don't see nothing. Everything looks pretty good so far. I don't know if you can really see that right there, but I think we found the problem by sealing it right there in that corner piece where I told you there was a crack in the back hatch area, because you can see the water stains on the actual plastic piece here. And so far, I don't see any water dripping down. We may solve the problem already. Everything looks good. No more water leaks. All right. Okay, seems like we solved the problem already. No more leaks inside the interior. However, if it occurs again, I definitely will post a video and give you an update. All right, well, y'all have a good day. Bye.